Everybody, welcome back to the Calibrate Tools channel. Glad you guys could make it tonight. And yeah, I'll let everybody pile in whenever they do. It'll probably be on the replay. But yeah, guys, I like to jump right into it. How training is evolving in the trades, augmented reality. Does anybody know what augmented reality is? Well, I talk a lot about, at least in my last lives, I've spoken about robotics, automation, all the stuff that's coming in and just, blitzing the world right now. And, it's really going to change a lot of people's lives. Hey, Jeremy, how you doing? Jeremy, good to see you, man. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. Yeah, so I wanted to dive a little more into that and into a subject that I didn't really touch upon. I talk a lot about AI and all that stuff. But there's another in between world, like a limbo world, where this stuff exists. That's good. That's good, Jeremy. Glad to see you doing okay, man. Yeah, it's rough out here. It's a cold world, man. We got to stay, we got to stay on top of things. But yeah, so there's automation, right? There's robotics, which I've seen even in the trucking industry. I remember when I was working as a trucker down on the ports, where the longshoremen work. There's tons of robots down there picking up 80,000 pound or at least 50,000 pound containers full of freight and dropping them onto the chassis of big rig trailers. And that's how it works down there, right? So even down there, right, it's not safe. Your job's not safe. Okay. This is where the world's going. And if you don't see it, then you're asleep. And I find it very interesting how everything's evolving. And, this is like another industrial revolution, except it's more in a tech sense. You know what I mean? It's more a technological revolution. And it's happening at light speed, one of my favorite phrases. But let's see, how many jobs do you guys think have already been replaced by AI, by automation, by robotics? Somebody tell me in the chat how many jobs have already been displaced. In other words, how many people do you think have lost, a job or been, I don't know, demoted or whatever, displaced because of automation, because of these new technological advances? Let's see here. Let's look it up. Let's do it. It says recent data reveals that 14% of workers have already experienced job displacement due to automation or AI. All right. That's 14%. That's not, that's you may say, oh, it's just 14. No, that's actually a lot of people. Okay. Let's dive a little bit deeper into those stats. It says 25% of routine tasks, I don't know what, like assembly line work or something like that, have already been robotized by AI. That's automated. 23% of current jobs are expected to change by 2027. 69 million new jobs are expected to be created after the AI transition. Okay, so, but what kind of jobs are they going to be, right? I'll have to dive more into that part. But get this, 83 million jobs are expected to be lost in the next 5 years due to AI. What percentage of the United States population? I just said the United States. I don't know if this is a global number, but that's a lot of people. Okay, that's probably the size of maybe some small countries, probably several small countries without skills to survive in an AI world, in an automated world. So yeah, if you like going out there partying and you have your what they would call a low skill job, and you're not looking far enough ahead to see if you're going to be one of those people that are going to be displaced and on the side of the road, so to speak, you may want to wake up and look at these stats here, because it's coming. We see it all around us, right? We see it all around us. I see cars driving with no driver in them all over the place. I see more and more of that. You see the little buggies delivering food with, rolling down the sidewalk. This is a new world. And that's how it happens, isn't it? When these changes happen, it happens slowly. It's almost okay, you see it happening and you see one or two things, you're like, oh, it's not gonna take it. But that's how it starts. It starts with slow, progressive, um, you know, movements towards this new future. And you gotta ask yourself, where are you gonna be there? At least where your kids, your grandkids, because you may say, well, I only got a few years left on this earth, and I'm not gonna worry about that. But like I said on my last live, automation and AI has even infiltrated the medical system, the medical world, and it can mean the difference between you lengthening your life or shortening your life, right? Because this stuff is not. I wouldn't say this stuff is perfect, right? These things can make mistakes too. People program these things, and people are fallible, and which means that they can mess up. So, but that's a whole nother ball game. Okay, so 83 million jobs expected to be lost in the next 5 years. But let's bring it back home to more more of what this channel is about, the trades. I want to concentrate on that. How's it affecting the trades in terms of training? Okay. Now, in the past, I did some videos on how uh, augmented reality and robotics are taking over, especially in the welding industry. And we're going to look at some of those clips right now, just to give you guys a sort of refresher, or at least open your eyes as to what's going to be going on in other industries as well. Let's jump into this here. Let's see here. I'm gonna transition to a clip. Perigo Life Notes. How you doing, Perigo Life Notes? Good to see you. I thought around 25. I was typing 25%, and you said it. Grocery stores, Ross, Habit, El Pollo Loco cashiers don't know how to count change back to you. Well, you know what? Those cashiers are probably going to be displaced anyway. They already have Habit where I go into the store and you don't even have to worry about a cashier. You could just go down the express line and they got these kiosks where you just swipe. See, and that started a while ago, right? Those are robots. They don't have arms and legs, but you can consider those things robots, scanning machines. They don't require a human person, a human, which is a person, right? To take care of that for you. So yeah, it's been happening. Like I said, it's progressive. It started way back. So Jeremy says, what's the weather like? Are you talking about over here on the West Coast? Hey, the weather's fine today. It was raining for the I don't know, last couple of days it's been raining and stuff like that. But it's good California weather out here now. So feel free to come on out here if you're not out here already. All right, let's see here. We're gonna jump into this video clip. Where you at, Jeremy? By the way, tell us where you at. What state you're in? Say it's cold. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, we're gonna jump into this video clip just to show you guys how tech is pretty much, I don't want to say taken over, but it's definitely taken a foothold in certain industries, and it's all about efficiency. It's all about the bottom line. Getting rid of the human element has always been the case, and that's really what the Industrial Revolution was about anyway, as well, right? Before, you had human labor. Humans were the machines. Okay, then it transitioned into a not getting rid of the human factor totally, but the Industrial Revolution, where the machines started to rule, but they still needed human interaction to operate the machines. Now, today, you don't need humans at all in some aspects, and that's I wonder what the timeline between each. I think it happens faster if you go down the timeline, right? It took longer for the Industrial Revolution to happen, and then after that, things kind of sped up. Jeremy said the Southern U.S. Gotcha. Yeah, I know all about the Southern U.S. I hear that. Okay, so let's jump into this clip right here. It's actually some old clips of mine, some old videos, so I may fast forward just to kind of get to the meat of it, but let's jump into it here. But okay, let me its thing. Tell me if you guys can hear that. I want you guys to look at this right here. I went to we got to back up a little bit here. I went to a dot puzzle. I went to a trade show a couple years back when I was a welding instructor. And this is a welding trade show here. And when you think of welding, you think of people having to do that job. But it's not the case all the time. In a lot of cases, robotic welders are much faster and way better. I mean, because there's no shaking or anything. It's just makes a lot of sense. Now they can't do everything a welder can, so I wouldn't say robots are going to totally replace welders, because there's certain things that a robot can't climb into certain areas and all that stuff that a human can do. But when it comes to certain tasks, outshines a human in I mean all the time. It's hands down. Okay, so let's take a look at some of this clip here that I pulled up of an old video that I did on this, and see, just to give you guys a more concrete, a concrete assessment of what I'm talking about here. It's pretty simple. And let's say you want to weld a lap joint. You start with the robot in the home position, move it to the starting point. By the way, tell me if you guys can hear that. Give it a torch angle, adjust it easily with the knob on the top, hit record, move it to the end of the weld, tweak the torch angle to make sure it's exactly the way you want it, hit record again, take it away, hit record, park it in the home position, hit record, and that's it. Okay, so what he just did there is he pretty much programmed that robot as to the type of weld it's about to perform. So the human factor is still involved. He had to program the robot. He had to, hold it and kind of move it through the paces, as in terms of the dimensions of the weld, and that programmed the computer, or told the computer what's going to be happening here. So at least that's my recollection of it. So let's continue. Now let's run the program. First, name it. Bring the robot down to the starting point, hit the play button, and let it do its thing. All right, so right there, it just, it showed that the robot pretty much did a dry run of what it's going to do. He's just showing us how it works, right? He did the manual part first, and then he just pressed a few buttons on the screen, and it went and repeated what he trained it to do, okay? Robots are changing the game when it comes to welding. No, they won't totally replace humans, but when it comes to certain repetitive tasks, you can definitely see how attractive robots would be in a capitalist economy. It's the rise of the machines, and productivity reigns supreme. But as futuristic as automation may seem because of its speed and efficiency, humans still outperform robots on the more complex decision-making tasks that require creativity and customization. Most robotic operations are like one-hit wonders. They can be programmed to perform a specific task over and over and over again. Okay, now that, like I said, this video was probably shot maybe a couple of years ago, if not more than that. And I'm pretty sure that the complexity in terms of the ability of robots to perform complex tasks, instead of just, rote one pass tasks, assembly line tasks, I'm sure that has evolved, and they're working on getting them to actually perform these complex tasks. And, and that's where the AI comes in, right? To almost replicate what a human being can do. And that's where it's going. But what happens when a new task needs to be executed? Well, at that point, you have to reprogram the robot for that new task. This is where humans take the baton from the robots, because humans can perform a variety of welds of different types without having to be reprogrammed. I'm pretty sure there are some artificially intelligent robots out there that can switch welding processes on a dime, but they haven't saturated the market as far as I know. See, it can even go around that, go in circles like that, weld that pipe to that base. All right, guys. So you guys see where I'm going with this, okay? Um, it's just it's all you have to do is just look around here. I mean, this is where you're going. So when I talk to young people, right, about a future in the trades, I always tell them, listen, you have to have some kind of tech background, and a lot of them already have, right? I mean, just this right here, your phone, right? That's like the gateway drug. I shouldn't say the word drug, but it's the gateway to, if you look at it properly, you're already conditioning yourself to deal with technology in a sense, right? In its most basic form, which is a cell phone. Um, but being able to program, write code, and all that stuff is going to be I think it's going to be one of the most in demand skills uh, as we go forward into the future. And if you learn those skills, at least to write simple code and maybe graduate into maybe 3D modeling and rendering and all that stuff, that's where it's going to be at. Okay. That's where it's going to be at. So the trades are not just swinging a hammer anymore. It's much more than that. It's engineering, math, science, all combined, right? And this is what you're seeing right now. This is the materialization of all those disciplines merged into one. Okay, let's check out another clip from another video I did, guys, on augmented reality. Now, if you don't know what augmented reality is, think of if you're sitting in your living room and you're looking at just your living room, right? And you want to play a video game. Well, imagine if you put on a mask or something like that, and you can still see the room through the mask, but you also see digital objects in the room overlaid onto the room and the environment. So you have your room, the physical room, and then you have digital objects or whatever overlaid because of the mask is projecting them onto the room. So that's what's called augmented reality, meaning that it's not just the physical reality you see, but it's augmented. It's layered with digital information, digital data, which you can manipulate, do whatever you want with it. Now, that's not new technology, right? You have that with I think the Oculus, the goggles you put on, you can see whole different scenery and stuff like that. I think they already have that stuff out there. Google Glass, I think, was also a an example of that. I think they had some glasses where you can see digits and stuff on the glasses, and all that. Well, that's all that is augmented reality. And yes, it has made its way into the trades. And I did a video on that. Let's take a look at it and see what I'm talking about here. On this level. Oh, hold on, guys. Let me add it to the stage. See what it is. The second system is the mobile ARC system, and it uses the white preformed coupons you see there. It has a handheld setup, and it's great for trade shows and demos. Now, the camera on the handheld can even connect to a helmet viewer, so when you're wearing it in a classroom setting, it will feel like you're actually welding. By using a handheld as a welding gun pointed at the coupon, which the students can change to the different welding joints like you see here. Now, using the handheld by itself doesn't really give you an accurate welding simulation. It's almost like playing a video game or you're just watching a screen. But when you put the helmet on and the camera is synced with the helmet viewer, it really feels like you're welding because you can turn your head as if you were wearing a regular welding helmet. Yeah, guys. So if you do the research on augmented reality and its uses in training, not just in the trades, but in other areas as well, but especially in the trades, because the trades, just by nature of what it is, involves dealing with the physical environment, whether you're an electrician, a plumber, or whatever. Augmented reality definitely helps out. I think Jeremy, if you're still there, asked me on one of the last lives about blueprints. when am I going to do videos on blueprints? Well, if you're following along, what's going to happen is blueprints are going to become absorbed into the augmented reality realm, meaning that instead of unfolding these big papers to look at, plans and renderings and sketches or whatever, it's going to be in a digital form, and you're just wearing glasses or whatever, whatever the apparatus is, and you'll be able to just access the blueprints from the glasses, right? You won't have to carry a bunch of papers around. Everything will be stored. As much information as you need to complete your task will be stored in the visual apparatus that you're going to be looking through. So if you're looking at something, all you got to do is, it's probably going to be like Siri. You can just talk and say, hey, pull up plans for floor number 8, panel 8, whatever, and it just comes up. And then if you're trying to wire a panel, it'll tell you what to do, or it'll look at it and actually scan the environment and point to exactly what you need to do, or even have color codes for the wires or whatever. And all you got to do is follow that. So it's like you have a teacher right on your face. And I think that exists in some trades already. But yeah, you guys get the idea. Let me go ahead and see if I can speed this up here. The colors on the screen are guides. Green signifies you have the correct angle, but if you over tilt the angle, it turns red, and it instructs you to tilt it back correctly to green. It also tells you if you are too far away and that you should get closer. When you start welding, it actually looks like a weld puddle, and as you move along or run your virtual weld bead, the arrows tell you the correct speed you should have. If you're going too slow or too fast, they turn red, and you should speed up or slow down. The blue arrows mean that you are at the right speed. So as you can see, the most outstanding feature of this platform is that it gives the student instant feedback on their technique and what they need to correct. After running your bead, it gives you a total score on the right side of the screen, and that's an average of the scores on the left side of the screen, which are all parameters the student must master. Like travel speed, it's red, which means you were going too slow. Contact to work distance, that's how close you need to be. Work angle, travel angle, etc. It can also display a graph of the student's progress. The green and red bar at the bottom indicate where on the graph the student was off, indicated by the red bars, indicating the travel speed was too fast. So students can see where they need to improve immediately without having to hunt down their instructor for feedback. All right, guys. So you see, that was maybe 2 or 3 years ago that I shot that. Yeah, and this is not just in the welding field. I just had examples from my experience, but yeah, this is in different arenas, right? Imagine in the medical world, you have this kind of technology helping, say, surgeons train to be surgeons, and of course, this right, nothing beats learning. Obviously, some people the old school way, right? You're learning, but this right here is going to speed up the amount of individuals who are going to be certified, right? And it does help out, helps you to have a steady hand, which is very important in the welding world. And it actually gives you a score. So it's almost like that reward feature built into it. And that can motivate students as well. So you don't necessarily need an instructor or professor hanging over your shoulder or waiting to get to you to see if you're doing something right. It'll tell you right there in real time by yourself whether you're on point or not. That's another feature. So that increases the efficiency in terms of cranking out qualified, or at least in the basics, people, okay, because they passed. It's testing them right there, right? So yeah, it's definitely some benefits to it, right? So let's I just want to touch on some of the things I probably touched on already as far as augmented reality. It says, let's see here. I kind of lost my track. All right. I don't know if I read this already, but augmented reality in the trades refers to using AR technology, that's augmented reality technology, to enhance the work of skilled tradespeople like electricians, plumbers, construction workers by overlaying digital information onto their real world view. And that's what I just explained to you guys and what you guys just saw, allowing them to access instructions, blueprints, Jeremy, and critical data directly on the job site, improving accuracy, efficiency, and training capabilities. Okay, so let's see here. Maintenance and repair, that's another area that you will find this technology making its way into. It can highlight specific parts or components that need servicing, providing real-time guidance during maintenance tasks, and virtual product visualization. It allows customers to see how a product would look in their space before installation, using AR to showcase design options. Now, I know in the real estate world, they have 3D renderings of, say, your house that you're going to build and all that stuff. And you can look at it on a screen and see how something would look, right? Because it's built in the digital world, right? It takes however long to build it in the digital world, and you can look at that, and it has dimensions to it and all that stuff. But AR allows you to take that rendering or a product, right? Take a product that's created in the digital world, superimpose it over the real world. Say, oh, you like a certain type of furniture, right? And you don't know how it would really look in that space in your new house. Well, augmented reality will allow you to take a digital rendering of that thing and put some glasses on or whatever, however you're going to look at it, overlay it in that exact area where you want it in your house, and see how it would look, right? So this is this is the merging of the fantasy world and the real world, right? Through the use of technology. Now, of course, people are going to use it for all kinds of other things, especially entertainment, right? That's going to be the biggest, probably, revenue generator of this type of technology is entertainment. Imagine that, right? And you guys can go all kinds of places in your head with that, but you're just creating your own world, right? Your own world with this type of technology. But yeah, this is where it's going. Hold on, let me see you guys. Okay. So anyway, guys, yeah, that's pretty much what I want to drop on you guys tonight. Is that this stuff, is moving along, and it would be, I would behoove anybody that's looking to get into any industry, the trades or whatever industry, to try to understand how this technology is going to impact their particular industry, the particular industry that you're getting into, how you can position yourself to be, ready, right? And not get caught with your pants down because you're not skilled enough. And, so you will be replaced because they don't need you anymore, right? How can you figure out how to be an asset, right? What skills can you gain right now, or start to learn, study, or whatever, to put yourself in a position where you will be an asset rather than a liability? Because this is capitalist economy, and liabilities don't last long. They're looked at as the devil, and you don't want to be that. So anyway, guys, that's it for the night. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned something. And if you want to support the channel, go to calibrate.com. Check it out. Got some great household tools, and great gifts for yourself, for others. And that's how I support the channel, by the way, because a lot of the equipment that I have on the channel, I rent them or I buy them. Okay, so I'm going with that. So if you can help out and get something for yourself, nobody's asking for donations here. Just I want to give something back. If you give your hard-earned cash, I want to go ahead and grab something. Check out calibrate.com. Let me let's see if I can put that back on the screen there. You know what? I'll just put it in the chat there. And check it out and support. Appreciate you guys. And come on back next time. We'll talk about something interesting, hopefully. And glad you guys are coming, and Jeremy, Life Notes, and anybody else who's watching. Appreciate you. Take care.